Hey guys, it's Shan, creator of Cozy One Podcast, Mama of the Girls. I don't usually do this because I try to steer clear from mainstream topics, but the audacity that Netflix, after so much backlash before this show, this documentary, this foolery, this pedophile treat that was put on Netflix before they even got it on there, they had backlash and they still went through with it. And now there's a hashtag cancel Netflix, as it should be, because I did cancel Netflix, I want to say 2 weeks ago, because you browse through it and it's all old shows or it's nothing new, it's nothing exciting. So yes, I canceled my Netflix before this show was put on there. But the fact that you will go ahead and add cuties on Netflix, why was it necessary? And I'm pissed off, one, because I know what it is to be a young girl preyed upon by a sexual predator that lived in my apartment building in Maryland. I know what it is to be a young girl preyed upon by men who are supposed to be family members. I know what that feels like. And so to see other parents on national television okaying their little girls to go audition for these types of dances, for these outfits, these mannerisms. Like, these kids are 6, 7, 8 years old, just out here gyrating like they work at a strip club in Atlanta. Okay, and it's really demeaning, it's really sad, it's really disgusting. And as a mother, like, how could you? As a parent, how could you? That's a little girl. Little people, little kids are supposed to be able to live within a child's world. What they are doing is nothing childlike, and it's only attracting people who are attracted to people who dress up as children, people who like to act like children so they can feel some type of gratification that they're messing with someone younger. Pedophiles, people who molest children. Like, you're creating seasoning for that to happen. You're creating a segue, a sneak peek of what's out here. And it's embarrassing, and I'm not understanding why these parents are not embarrassed. Like, what are you thinking where you think like this is okay? And that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about, because I don't understand where the loop and the thought process is missing. I don't understand what parents are not understanding about what a child should do and what a child shouldn't be doing. What a child should wear and what a child shouldn't be wearing. It's really crazy to me. How can you have a show about 11-year-olds, quote unquote, competing, auditioning, and doing moves that are so adult-like in a manner for an audience, to cheer them on, to commend them, to be proud of them, and then put on the rating of the documentary, the show, whatever you want to call it, the pedophile thrill, because it's a pedophile thrill, 18 plus. Why are 18 plus adults okay to watch 11-year-old girls gyrate on stage, shake their little hips on stage, bounce up and down on stage, wear halter tops, wear like sport bra tops, show their midriff, show their legs, wear short shorts, just be very provocative and seductive in an adult way. Why are you approving that? Who sat in meeting after meeting after meeting, despite what the audience and the public was telling you, and said, we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward. Week after week after week, up until now, y'all sat in meetings and took a vote, and it was approved. It was approved. Like, what is next? What is next that's going to be okay or okayed by the masses of these corporations? And the problem is you have no limits. You can't chastise, you can't criticize, and you can't demonize men and women who are behind bars because they lust after young kids, because they molested young kids, because they crave young kids, because they feel like being with a young child should be a sexual preference. The fact that it is a category on public pornography sites, and most people have it under costumes. Most people, those websites have it under lollies, something that's very attractive to a child that would see that. It's a childlike word, lollies. You're not going to have an adult be like, can I have some lollies? No, you're going to have a child that wants lollies. So if they Google lollies, that's going to pop up. And my thing is like, all these segues are created to make it easy for a child to see something adult-like that they should not see. And you'll have a company like Netflix whose stock is going down to the dirt level, okay? Plummeting. Broadcasting this, what word I want to say, but I can't say, show. It's horrible. It's garbage. It's hot garbage. No parent should watch this. Young girls like this should not be doing this. I would never sign my daughters up to do this. Those good girls have, maybe they're 11, but they have 6-year-old, 7-year-old bodies. What are y'all doing? Netflix, what are you doing? Your executives, your CEOs, what are y'all thinking? As a child, I was molested for over a decade, on and off, to the point where I didn't trust anybody. I felt like I was a horrible person. I felt wrong sometimes. I just felt very unprotected. And I didn't like males helping me throughout my life because I didn't understand the male intention. Okay? And the pedophile that lived in my apartment building when I lived in Maryland with my mom and my youngest brother, he lived right across the hall. And that was the only way to go down the steps. And sometimes he would purposely sit on the top step. And I wanted to go outside. And I wanted to take my bike outside. And I remember one time my bike chain came off. And I was going to bring it in the house. And he told me he would fix it. So I'm just like, okay, cool. And he fixed it. And I went to get my bike. And I went to grab it, and he reached around to my pants belt loop, and he like tugged at it so he could see my underwear. And I pulled away from him. And I knew, I made a connection. I said, I know that was wrong and he shouldn't have done that. And he would always offer me money for the ice cream truck. He would always offer me any candy. He would sit outside in his car. He had this big, long car. He would sit outside in his car. It was green. I remember it like it was yesterday. He would sit on the corner, so I would have to figure out a way to go around the long way to get into my building, so I wouldn't have to pass him in his car. And one day, I was already outside, and I was gonna come back in the building, and his window of his apartment faced the outside, so he could see who was coming in and out. And he opened his apartment door that was directly across from mine. And my mom, I don't know what made her sense, let me open the door for her. My mom opened the door, and this grown man that lived in that apartment with a woman and a child, I don't know if that child was his or not, lived in that apartment with a child and a woman, stood in front of his doorway. I didn't see, but I did hear his door shut afterwards. He stood in front of his doorway with a robe wide open, butt ass naked. Imagine if my mother didn't open that door. So it's the audacity. It's the audacity that people will feel like this is an okay thing to be shown on TV. And even if it's not on the kids' side of Netflix, just imagine them just seeing the picture and thinking, oh, this is for kids, and it's not. Imagine them just hearing the preview and coming into a living room or coming into a room and seeing it. It should not be up there. And it's disrespectful. It's disgusting. And they need to take it down. And I'm happy to cancel Netflix. I hope they learn their lesson. And I hope they understand there's a certain toleration for all parents across the globe, not just in America, across the globe, where they should be embarrassed as a company, as a whole, for even putting out a film like this. It's disgusting. I don't want to see it. I don't know no parent that I'm friends with that wants to see it. I don't want my kids to see it. I don't want my daughters to see it. I don't want boys to see it, to think that it's okay. Imagine walking in and two children seeing that film and them doing those dances on each other. You would call the cops. It will be an uproar. Why would you put this out? So parents, I'm telling you, be aware of it. This world is really pushing legalizing pedophilia as a sexual preference. In Greece in 2012, they already approved pedophilia as a disability. It's kind of like excusing it, as if people can't help their urges. It's a natural thing. It happens to some of us. That's crap. Okay? Maybe the United States hasn't done that yet, but I feel like the United States sugarcoats their allowances of pedophile-like things to occur. There's a lot of church groups that protect pedophiles within systems. There's a lot of higher ups, executives, corporate owners, filmmakers, directors that protect people who have repeated offenses and repeated situations of people swearing that they sexually abused them, and they're still getting jobs and they're still in Hollywood. So it's not just American thing. It's not a Caribbean thing. It's not an African thing. It's not an Asian thing. It's a worldwide issue of people trying to okay this type of behavior, and I'm not doing it. You should not do it. I hope they take this film off. I hope they honestly understand that parents out here are not with it. And I hope they learn their lesson as a company, as a whole. It was a bad decision move. It was a bad play. Flag, flag, flag. Touchdown. You guys are idiots. The nerve. Ugh. Lucky I don't know anybody personally that works at Netflix, because I would be blowing their phones up. Like, how can the executives and the CEO and the share owners comfortably tuck their kids in at night, have dinner with their kids, play with their kids, knowing that they're okaying other people's children watching this, seeing this, doing this? You have to be sick. You have to be demented in your mind to feel like this is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.